Known for his gruff demeanor and solitary ways, he'd kept the world at arm's length since losing his family to the harsh frontier life. His days were simple, mending fences, herding cattle, and drowning his sorrows in silence. But underneath his rough exterior lay a man haunted by a sense of purpose left unfulfilled. One evening, as Jed sat by his lonely fire, a rider galloped toward his ranch. The man, a young neighbor named Tom, came with troubling news. "Jed," Tom panted, "outlaws raided a wagon train north of here. A family survived, but their little girl, Susanna, was taken." Jed's old, tired eyes flared with a spark. The last thing he wanted was to get involved with trouble. But a young life hung in the balance, and something deep within called him to action. But Jed shook his head. "I ain't no hero, Tom," he muttered, casting his gaze into the flames. "Let someone else go. I'm just an old man. I ain't got nothin' left to fight for." He wrestled with himself, guilt mixing with fear, and memories of his own lost family gnawed at his heart. The frontier was brutal, and he'd already lost too much. As Jed sat in silence, an old native man named Red Hawk emerged from the shadows. Red Hawk, a respected elder, had often helped those in the territory with wisdom and skills. He spoke softly but firmly to Jed. "Jed Parker, the strength you seek is not in your youth or your past. It's in the courage of the man you are now." Red Hawk handed Jed an eagle feather. "This will guide you. It's time to face what you've been hiding from." With the feather tucked into his hat, Jed mounted his horse and rode off, leaving behind the only world he knew. This decision was a point of no return. As he crossed into the unfamiliar canyons and arid plains, he ventured toward an outlaw camp. It was a lawless world he'd once feared but now entered with a single purpose: to rescue the child. Jed's journey was fraught with danger. The trail was perilous, and he fought against the elements, finding water and shelter wherever he could. Along the way, he met allies: a young tracker named Maria, who had lost her family to the same outlaws, and a former bounty hunter, Silas, who'd been looking for redemption. But enemies lurked as well: the ruthless band of outlaws, led by a man named Cole Harker, notorious for his brutality. With the help of Maria and Silas, Jed located the outlaws' camp nestled deep within the cliffs. But as they approached, he felt the weight of fear gnawing at his resolve. His memories and guilt resurfaced, almost paralyzing him with self-doubt. Red Hawk's words echoed in his mind, reminding him of the courage he'd been hiding. The final confrontation was drawing near, and Jed knew he would either succeed or die trying. As dusk fell, Jed and his allies stormed the outlaw camp. The fight was brutal, a deadly game of hide-and-seek in the shadows of the canyon. Jed confronted Cole Harker face to face, a man as fearsome as the West itself. They fought, and Jed faced his deepest fear: the risk of failing to save another innocent life. With strength he hadn't known he possessed, Jed defeated Cole in a climactic struggle. The final, desperate blow was struck, and the young girl, Susanna, was freed. With Susanna safe and the outlaws defeated, Jed felt a weight lift from his shoulders. In saving her, he found a sense of redemption, something he thought was lost. The victory wasn't just physical but a profound release of the guilt he'd carried for so long. Maria and Silas, too, had found purpose in the fight, each gaining new courage and hope. Jed began the journey home with Susanna in tow, a journey no longer haunted by regret. Yet, danger hadn't entirely vanished, as a few outlaw stragglers pursued them, seeking revenge. Jed had to stay vigilant, protecting Susanna and his newfound allies as they navigated the treacherous landscape. Upon reaching the homestead, Jed faced one final test as the outlaws launched a last attack. But this time, he fought with renewed strength and courage, rallying Tom, Maria, and the neighboring settlers. Together, they defended the homestead, and Jed emerged victorious, having proven to himself and others that even an old rancher had something left to give. Jed's transformation was complete. He had come full circle from the man who'd once shunned the world to one who had found his place within it. Jed returned to the community a changed man. He brought back more than just a rescued child. He returned with wisdom, hope, and a newfound purpose. The neighbors saw him differently now, and he took on the role of a protector and mentor, sharing his hard-earned wisdom with those who needed it. The courage and compassion he discovered within himself became the elixir that healed both him and his small frontier community. The old homesteader leaned back, his gaze drifting to the embers of the fire. "So, folks, remember old Jed Parker," he said softly. "Sometimes it takes a dark journey to find the light within."